Welcome back to another episode of the Hoopers Almanac. In Adam, game ones are over, and that's all we're going to be talking about today is the 8 game ones that we've had in the past 48 hours. Adam is wearing the shirt from the San Antonio Spurs versus the Blazers game. He was there live. I am wearing a Celtics shirt from 2 years ago that my father-in-law got me. But you know, it's probably Adam's version of first day of March Madness, first weekend of March Madness. This is it for him, and this is just one of my favorite times of the year. It's like we had the Masters last week or 2 weekends ago, and now we have this. It's just a blast, and so I am very stoked. I'm very happy we get 2 months of, like we said last week, competitive basketball.
Yes.
So, but before we get into it, before we break down all these games, let's hear from our friends from Green Top. Adam, we are recording this, and it's about damn near midnight on Sunday night, and every game one is now in the books of the first round of here in the playoffs. And how does it feel, one, to have a San Antonio Spurs home playoff game for the first time in 7 years?
It feels amazing. I got the shirt to prove it here. Here we go.
Love it.
View of that. Playoffs 2026. Yeah. So for anybody who watched the games, obviously the Spurs game today, it was Fiesta themed. It had kind of alternating colors. It was the green. It was the pink. It was the yellow, and it was the kind of bluish color. How did it look on TV, by the way?
It looked kind of sick. Like you could see like the sections were squared off pretty perfectly. And with San Antonio not having a playoff game in so many years, you knew it was going to get packed, and so it wasn't like you saw pockets of spaces empty. No, it was pretty sick.
Yeah. We were in the upper deck, and there's a couple. I feel like I got a couple of cool shots of like when I kind of walked down the tunnel and first saw it all laid out, before all the fans were there, and then obviously once everybody was in the building and had all the shirts, it looked really cool. So we didn't know what we were going to get. It was like, you can get the pink. The yellow green. I'm fine with the pink. I have my Fiesta New Balance shoes that DeJounte Murray used to wear. Those kind of game shoes. But no, it was awesome. I mean, 7 years. I went to Game 4 of the 2019 series. That was the last Spurs playoff game I went to. They obviously played one more after that. Game 6 would have been here in San Antonio. So yeah, it was great to have it back. It just felt right. It's like I went for so many years of my childhood just going to games and my kind of young adulthood going to games. Felt nice to be back in the building and actually have a rooting interest in the playoffs because it's been a while. I'm so neutral when I watch these games. I watch every playoff game. It's so nice to actually have a team to root for now. So no, it was fun. I thought the actual game itself, I mean, I thought the first half was actually a lot of fun, and then I thought it became the Josh Tiven show in the second half. What was it like on TV? Because I mean, look, obviously in the building it's going to feel like one way. People are booing the refs and stuff like that. I thought it was just really inconsistent. He just was like, it just felt like randomly, okay, now let's actually call a ton of stuff. And it's like the first half, you actually let him play a bit. There was a good flow to it. I don't know, man. The second half I thought was a grind.
I'll put it this way. It wasn't the only game and we'll talk about a bunch of them over the past 2 days that were kind of like, hey, I saw way too much of this ref on my screen and it felt like they wanted to feel important. Tibbins was one of them. For some reason, I felt like if there was ever a day where for some reason got a biopic, I thought Donnie Wahlberg would be a good guy to play him. Yeah. But no, it's one of those things. Like we saw Mark Davis so much on my screen. Yeah. Like I saw Tony Brothers. Foster wasn't even that bad, honestly. I mean, but it was like I just knew I was like, whenever these games came on, and then, and Zach Zarba yesterday made me want to throw hands into a brick wall at the bar I was at yesterday with a hometown buddy of mine, and it was just something else. But, it wasn't the only time But you know what? Like you said, the first half was a blast. Even the third quarter was like when it was still close. And then like halfway through the third, when the Spurs started to pull away, it then became like, okay, what's happening here? Because
Yeah,
it kind of like the
yeah,
game slowed down. I was like, oh my gosh. At the time, I'm not kidding you. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, Adam's gonna get out of there at 8:15. That's even great. Boy, was I wrong, because then
nope.
we had like 7 timeouts in the last 7 minutes of the game. And
That
it was
ridiculous review on the Scoot Henderson. I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. It grinds to a halt, man. Those reviews in the building are just terrible. It's
yeah,
so bad. But
I agree.
yeah, yeah. Again, awesome Spurs win. 13-point win. Austin actually was very close to predicting the score exactly. He said 108-99,
Yeah.
which is pretty dang close. So they did cover the spread. I believe the spread was 8.5, wasn't it? So
Yeah, I think so too. But I also want to say I was 3 for 3 on my picks today. I
you're
I
4 for 4.
4 for 4. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, I had the it would have been great if I bet it, but I didn't.
Yes.
But uh, no, I had thought the Sixers Celtics game would be closer. We'll get to that one later. It wasn't. Knew the blowout was going to happen in OKC, and then the Magic just stealing one just seemed right,
Yeah.
and then all leading up to this, and now the Blazers didn't take the lead in at any point, or wasn't leading at the end of the third quarter, but they got close, and
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
their shots, and it was just. I'll say this: man, is Avdia? How fun is Avdia to watch in person? Like, is it? I mean, I know it's opposing team, but is it? Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I don't mind that. Yeah. I don't know if fun is the word because
Oh, there's a little sarcasm behind it.
yeah, it's just kind of like this. I mean, I admire it. Like he's just
Yeah,
like this, just like machine, this like downhill force that just attacks you, goes into your chest, gets into your shoulder, and just kind of forces play. I mean, he is really good. I mean,
yeah.
he played really well, and it's I was at the game with my girlfriend tonight, and I told her, I said, you're gonna get sick of this guy by the end of the series. And like by like
Oh
halftime, she was like,
yeah.
I'm already sick of it. I was like,
Well,
yeah, it's tough.
it's one of the things too is like it's not Luca complaining
No,
bad,
no,
but it does hit moments you're like, is this necessary? But
yep,
it does feel like one of those things. It's like he has one move, and it doesn't matter. He's just gonna get to the rim, or
yeah,
he's gonna get a shot off near the rim, whatever he wants. He's not a terrible like jump shooter, but
no,
his preference is to get within 10 feet and just like do his
yeah.
work there.
Yeah, he's a battering ram. He's a battering ram.
Yeah,
So he had his moments tonight. I mean, he kept him in the game for long stretches. They're kind of another scorer, kind of short from being like a real team, but they have a bunch of good players. I mean, it's a collection of nice pieces, and I really liked little stretches that we saw from Drew Holiday tonight. Klingon I thought was ineffective. Robert Williams actually played pretty well, but Klingon is kind of in a weird spot against this team because it's like he started the game on Steph Castle. And they played way off him, right? And it was like, oh,
yeah,
that's odd. I was kind of explaining, like, hey, look, they're putting,
a
you
big
know,
man.
a big man on our worst shooter. So that's really kind of the whole goal here. And it freed up Wemby to do some things. Kamara started on Wemby, so it's like that's a guy who can kind of get up into him with some length. So it's not like a guy that's just going to just shoot right over. And it worked to a degree, but then Wemby had kind of like one of those explosions and just it just took over the game. But Wemby had a couple plays tonight that are just like wow. I mean, just
No,
just
I
incredible.
wanted to get into that with you because I wanted to ask what your girlfriend's like thoughts were on just Wemby in a playoff game, and just like it's not like he had like many crazy emotional moments himself, like or emotional like showings, but how he played tonight was incredibly special. I mean, they showed it like on the broadcast. It was the second most points by a Spur in a um, playoff debut.
Mm.
Who do you think has the first?
It's not Tim.
Oh, I hate to tell you,
What is it, Tim?
it is Timmy.
Really?
Timmy
Okay.
had. Wait, no, wait. Actually, I think Wemby might have passed him tonight. Yes, because if did he end up at 35? Yeah,
Yeah.
Wemby did pass him, and Timmy was at 34.
Okay. Would have been a
So
98. Yeah.
yeah, so that was those are the two guys, and they showed that. So it was great. They had on the broadcast. They showed Ginobili and then Robinson and Timmy sitting next to each other, and then
Wearing
they
the
showed.
shirts. They're actually
I
wearing the
know,
shirts. Yeah.
I know, and then Pop, and then they showed Iceman. They showed George Gervin up
Yep.
there too. So it was, and they had the 4 box showing all four of them just reacting to different plays. So it was cool.
Yeah, they didn't actually put them on the screen for a long time. I knew they were there because I know kind of generally where they sit. Like Manu sits in this there's like this little box, and there's a bunch of sometimes Brian Wright will sit there, RC Buford will sit there, and so I knew like that's kind of where some kind of former players sit. And so I could see Tim and David, and I was like, oh, that's so cool if they're wearing the shirts, but they didn't put them up on the screen for a long time. And then like 7 minutes left in the game during a timeout, they put
They
them on,
talk about
and
it.
the place went crazy. It was awesome, just standing ovation. Like it was really cool. So I'm really happy to do that. There's a woman sitting like a little bit down to my left that like she just like turned to whoever she was with and she goes, well, that was really neat. Like right after they did that, she goes, what a treat. What a treat.
Can I guess it was a white woman who was probably in her 60s?
It was.
Oh my gosh.
But no, it was like everyone was so happy to see him. And it's just so cool to see him like together wearing the shirt. It's like, laughing. It's like, it's like they never left. So well, they haven't left. They're still here. I mean, they're still very much part of the community. So that was really cool. Honestly, overall, a fun experience. It was good to be back. Austin and I will go to game 2. I expect it to feel a little bit different, but it was kind of a party atmosphere tonight, is what I'd say. It was just kind of like everybody was ready to hang out.
Well, it was a fiesta. It was a fiesta theme.
Exactly. So it fit right into the mood. No, the marketing team like nailed it. Everything. Like it looked cool. Like they're giving out these like kind of fans, all the players, pictures on it. So it felt like a big deal. Kind of first game back in a while, playoff game back in a while. So no, a lot of fun.
You got the approval of my wife and the jerseys. She loves the jerseys the Spurs wore tonight too. So
those are so sick. Yeah, and the court looks beautiful. Yeah, it's just that's great.
Yeah,
great combo.
Absolutely. Spurs did win, like you said, by 13. Very close in the predictions from Austin. And I think we'll just hit on it a little bit here. Whenever they did put Klingon on Castle, it was clear they were just trying to keep him open and just force him to shoot. It felt so much of the opposite of like both these teams. Like for the Spurs, you saw the 7-footers both in Wemby and Cornette just played some massive minutes.
Cornette was great.
This is why I miss him. I miss him so much for these moments.
Yeah.
And then
he'd be really helping your team right now. I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah. But then on the opposite end, it's like Avdia. It's like it's all centered around the wing play, and it's just like. Fox had some great moments tonight, don't get me wrong, but it was so focused on what Wemby was doing for the Spurs offense. And I don't know if the Blazers will ever have a moment where they can officially like make the Spurs like have to work for it. Maybe game 2. Maybe game 2 is a little bit more of a grind for the Spurs. But I just am curious, like, is there a moment where the Spurs have to be like forced to rely on the wing guys? Because Harper looked, I'm not going to lie, he looked a little scared in moments. And then there was moments he didn't look like he wanted to shoot the ball or want the ball in his hands. And then Castle, like he just was trying to force it just because he wanted to try to be a part of the offense in moments.
Yeah, I actually didn't like Castle's game very much at all. I mean, classic good defense. So of course, he's going to bring it every night of that. Rebounded pretty well. Had a few assists. He had a couple excellent lobs to both.
Seven rebounds, 7 assists.
Yeah. So his floor game was okay. But just too many turnovers, and just some of those plays were like in the regular season, you can kind of just like barrel through a guy and like, oh, you'll get that call or whatever. They're obviously not giving that to you. And then it was like bad, missed layups and transition. Now it creates a 5-on-4 the other way. He's on the floor. It's like just a few too many plays like that. And he really is my worry against, not necessarily against Portland, but against like a Denver and an OKC. I mean, he just needs to be like excellent in those series. We have referenced Simmons before, and I mean, he seems to love Castle. He voted for him third team All NBA. I think that's crazy. Offensively, he's just nowhere near polished enough and like just effective enough on a night-to-night basis, productive enough
on the offensive end. His defense is
amazing. Yeah. He's all defensive player, but no, he's just not offensively. He's just not there yet. So there's a bunch of guys I would have ahead of him in that queue. So I think that's really strange that he's been kind of banging that drum. But and I think tonight is a reason why. It's like, just too many, just like really unforced errors. It's like you're driving into kind of 3 guys, driving without much of a plan. It's like there's just shooters open everywhere. Like just kick it, keep it simple. You drew 2, kick it. He does overcomplicate things a bit too much, but I mean, I love him. He's obviously, he can be thrilling to watch at times. He had that baseline dunk when Drew kind of slipped, and that was
crazy.
That was nuts. The place went nuts when he did that. But I think moving forward, they need to see more of him and way less turnovers and just kind of forced plays.
It was game 1. It's his first playoff game. I mean, like you want to think that your guys aren't going to have the moments where they're going to be a little starstruck or a little brighter or too light. It's game 1, and your best player showed up when you needed him to. So that was the key to it all.
Sure did.
Anything else on this game before we move backwards?
No. Let's go ahead and head to Detroit.
My Lord, I really should have put the money on this one because I had this feeling because it felt very. I'm bringing this up. Do you remember the Grizzlies Jazz series from I think it might have been 21 when it was Young Ja and it was the
Yep.
Jazz who were the 1 seed and the Grizzlies took game 1. It felt like that this morning. When I woke up this morning, I'm like, man, Magic are coming off this blowout win against the Hornets. I'm like, they're going to be riding so high. And Jalen and Suggs just said, "Hey, you're absolutely right, Mitchell Sell. You are absolutely right. I'm just going to go hit 2 threes to start this game." I'm like, this is a game. Cade looked incredible. Don't get me wrong. He was like the stability so much in that game for Detroit. But my God, Paolo just decided to say, "Hey, everyone, shut up! I'm going to do my thing." And then even Franz was just whenever he got to the rim, Franz looked great too. But just what a great team win for the Magic, which is that's how they're going to win games. They have to have all their starters basically get double digits, or
Yep.
have Paolo or Franz go get them 30. Which every one of their starters not only hit double digits was over 15 points, which is a recipe for success.
Well, and this is the thing when you see their starting lineup actually healthy and all on the floor together, you're like, oh, there's a reason people are picking them to be like the 3 seed.
Yeah,
Like this is a super talented team. Like this, there's no reason they should be the 8 seed. They've just messed around for so much of the regular season. There's been ups and downs. Their offense has been kind of a disaster at times. But when you actually see it on the floor, you're like, oh wow, like this is a very talented starting 5 and a couple of really good pieces off the bench. I thought De Silva was great today.
yeah.
My process for kind of watching this game was odd. So
Please, yes.
yeah, so I've watched all 8 games, and man, I have not slept much. I coached 6 basketball games yesterday.
God,
Got home and just immediately went through all 4 games.
have to.
And man, Amazon killing me. The fast forwarding is just not. It's just not.
It's not as
Clean,
has the buffer for you.
Yes, and just like you can't see exactly where you are, so I'm kind of having to go. So it takes me
Oh.
a bit longer to watch a game on Amazon than it does on YouTube TV, or League Pass for that matter. But so that's frustrating. So that's going to add some time to my watching here for the next couple of weeks. But so all the games were on Amazon yesterday, so I was behind. It took me a little while. So I watched all 4 games. Went to bed at like 2 a.m. Got up. Watched 2 soccer games, watched the Merseyside derby, and then watched
God.
watched Man City beat Arsenal. Immediately started, so I watched the first half of your Boston Celtics. Went to practice. I heard that obviously was a blowout. Saw that in our group text.
Yeah.
So went back, put the second half of that on my laptop while I watched the entire second game today, which was OKC Phoenix. So I had that on. The second that finished, I started Orlando. Watched the first quarter and a half. We went to a pizza place, got to watch almost the entire third quarter at that place. Left. So then during halftime of the Spurs game, I watched the rest of the second quarter, and then I started the fourth quarter. And then during the timeouts, there was multiple 3.5 minute timeouts because obviously national TV timeouts are longer than usual. I was able to kind of watch 3 minutes at a time of the fourth quarter. And so I did get to watch the entire game in full. And yes, I am crazy. I'm aware of that. But I did accomplish my goal of all 8 games before we recorded. So it worked out well. I even got it was midway through the fourth and I was like, oh, cool. I finished. I didn't have to, the last time out, I didn't have to watch anything. I just
there we go.
Before I thought. So, but no, and it was a good call by you on the Orlando upset. They also had come off of a really good win, right, against Charlotte, where they played really well. Yeah. And so it's just kind of right into the next step. It's didn't even go home. They just went straight to Detroit. It's all right, let's on to the next thing. Whereas Detroit kind of been sitting there for a little bit. Cade obviously had just come back to the lineup for the last couple of games.
And that's my other thought too.
Yes. And so it's it just didn't, Detroit just didn't really hit back. It was Orlando makes a big swing. Cade had an amazing game. But the rest of the team, it just felt a little bit subdued. I thought it was a little bit of an odd performance from Detroit.
Cade was the only one hitting. That was the thing, though. Cade was you needed more guys punching back, like you're saying. Jenkins, who also Simmons has a slight soft chub about, was also one of 7.
Yeah.
Jalen Duren, my most improved player, was nowhere to be found on when it was effective scoring wise, but it's because Paolo and Wendell and Batadze had basically rendered him useless on the offensive end. Basically saying, "Hey, you're
awesome." Wendell Carter had a great game.
He was everywhere. And you said, and this is my Magic love right here. When the Magic are locked in on defense, it's over. It's a game changer. But they showed it on the broadcast today, somewhere in the teens of defensive rating this year after being the first defensive rating team last year. healthy, they are a totally different animal. And this is even a bad Bane shooting game for the first 3 quarters. The fourth
Yeah.
quarter, he finally decided, hey, I just need to attack the rim. I think he still went 1 for 8 from three. But it was one of those games you're like, man, Bane's still shooting, and we got to figure out, and he's still missing. What the hell are we doing? But this is the reason why, people have the discussion whether to break up Paolo and Franz. Also, the people comparing Paolo and Franz to Jason and Jalen need to really chill on that one.
Yeah, calm. Yeah.
Please, because tell me when
Yeah.
you made a few conference finals in your first few years, because
Yeah.
they haven't made it out of the first round yet. But my point still being, the fact that that's still a discussion about them separating the two, I understand it. But these are the games you're like, man, when they're clicking, when they're on, it's so much fun to watch these guys. And I think they're hitting the right matchup, honestly. Detroit, I still think Detroit ends up winning this some. I mean, I think Bickerstaff's a smart enough coach to get them out of this first round. But if it's anyone, it could be the Magic just beating them out of the Hornets or the Heat or the Sixers. The Magic were the only team I really thought that could force them to 6 games at most.
Yeah, and we all wanted. I mean, I think we were all kind of talking in a group chat. We wanted the Charlotte Hornets to be in the playoffs. It was just that's such a fun team to watch. It was a cool story back half of the year. But again, once you actually see it in action and see them actually playing like a team,
yeah,
it's like, oh, okay. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the year that the Magic and the Pistons are going to meet in the playoffs, I would have said, oh, that makes sense. That's like a 4-5 matchup. That makes sense. No, it's going to be 1-8. That's I would not have guessed that for sure. But it's like, oh, somebody must have had a disaster of a season, and it was Orlando, but. Here they are. Look, obviously, they still game one. It's an awkward matchup. Detroit needs to play a lot better. They don't have enough shooting. I mean, neither team has enough shooting. But no. Detroit, man, I just really I did it for a different group chat. I did a picks. We did a bracket, a full out bracket pick, and I picked them to lose in the second round because I'm like, I just don't trust that they have enough firepower essentially to get through some of these other teams. So I actually had them losing the second round. It genuinely would not shock me if Orlando beat them. But I think this is gonna be a long series. This could be a 6 or 7 game series, and it's going to be very awkward for Detroit.
No, I think you're right. I think Orlando likes to think they have shooting. They don't. Yeah. It's one of those teams that they just huck it to huck. And for the Pistons, they know they don't have shooting. That's why they attack the rim a lot, and it's a lot of reliant. That's why they went and got Herter. That's why they added Duncan Robinson in the offseason. Yeah. This team just doesn't have the shooting to stay, but they've somehow won these games. And they always make the joke. I mean, it's always a joke in the postseason. You can't just rely on threes. I feel like the past few years, we've seen teams rely on threes a lot when it comes to just in these postseason games, and they've won a few titles. So, I think there's a balance of having some 3-point shooters on the floor, and you can't have Thompson, Ron Holland, and then a big man out there who can't shoot all at the same time if you're Detroit. So I am curious to see what the adjustments are in game 2 because listen. Detroit still kept it close. It wasn't it was it wasn't a blowout, but it was an 11-point win, and it felt like Orlando had control, especially in that second half. I mean, more so in the fourth quarter. Detroit had the momentum at one point. I can't remember what the lead was in the third quarter when they took it, and then Orlando just snatched it right back, and they were like, yeah, it's ours.
Yeah, and Jalen Suggs, when we mentioned him earlier, I mean, he has to get another shout out. I thought he was fantastic today. He was all over the floor. Making plays on both ends. I mean, he did. Yeah, but that's going to happen with how hard he plays. And what do you feel about? And this is maybe a more general thing. I actually thought that game veered a tad too far in the do we really want to call this loose? I don't know. I thought they missed a lot of stuff in that game.
It was the Mark Davis game that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. It was they were a little hands off in moments, and then there were moments where they were like,
and it would flip. Yeah, and it's well, which is it? It's
So I think there are moments when they're when the flagrant fouls are being called, it's those are when they're okay, I guess we got to start being ticky tacky. Once the first one's called, then the switch is flipped.
I actually wish in these games they would start the game calling it a bit tighter. I think they're being allowed to get a tad too it's veered from hey, it's just a little more physical in the regular season. It's playoff basketball. It's man, when it looks this different, I don't know if that's good. I actually don't know if that's good for just viewership for even health of the players. It's this is just
we're gonna have injuries.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No, it's not. There's a balance, and I don't know where it is.
I don't think they found it this weekend. Yeah, I hopefully that'll get better as we go.
Yeah. So Magic are up 1-0.
Yep.
OKC Phoenix. We don't have to stick on this one this quick, but
Domination.
we've talked about it before. I think this is a sweep from OKC. Congrats to you. Thank you for showing up, Phoenix, for making it out of the play-in. OKC's defense is swarming.
Ridiculous.
First and only thoughts, Adam.
Yeah, their defense is absolutely unreal. I mean, just when they're really rolling, and they have like 5 legit defensive players out there, just nothing you can do. And not. I mean, especially a team like Phoenix. I mean, it's just they're so limited when it comes to the amount of different guys that can play. I mean, I got Grayson Allen actually would open up a lot for them. That's a real bummer that he's not being able to play in this. But it's just they're drawing dead against this team. They're just so outmatched. And then the depth, it's like, OKC's 9th man compared to like Phoenix's 9th man. I mean, it's just there's an ocean between those players. It's pretty when you see OKC at full strength and like really running. It's like, wow, this is really impressive. This is the team to beat.
Phoenix also is down in Mark Williams, and so they have that size would be really nice, but Iguodala can't even get on a bucket for them in this game. They shot 35% from the field, so not even a great Shea game, but it was a great supporting game. So I will not be complaining about that. Great job, Thunder. We'll stop. We won't talk about the Celtics a long time because I would love to, but we don't need to do it.
I think we're gonna have time to talk about them as we move forward here.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying today we don't need to do it now. I'm just saying Celtics also won by 30. I should preface that the Thunder won by 35. Celtics won by 32. And I also think this is a 5-game, maybe possible sweep, just with how good Boston looked today and a bad Jaylen Brown shooting game, but Jason Tatum somehow looks like he's been playing the entire season and he only came back a month ago. It's
crazy.
I could go on for longer. I got in trouble this weekend trying to talk to a guy about the NBA. The Mets were in town playing the Cubs, was at the bar yesterday, was wearing a Celtics hat. Guy ripped me for a half a second, and I was like, I forgot you guys won a title in 73 and you were alive for that one. So the guy was around my age.
Talking on this guy? How old are we talking? What are we thinking?
He's about my age. So it was like he had a Brooklyn accent too. It wasn't like Manhattan. Like so I don't know. I think he's a Mets fan. So I mean, you figure more on that side of the island. Yeah. But either way, Celtics look great today, even with a bad White shooting game, a bad Jaylen Brown shooting game, although Brown kind of brought it back in the second half. And then, man, Vooch saved his role with 1-3, but I want Garza. I think this is Joe's like testing ground between Vooch and Garza over the next like 3 games. This first series to see who's going to be more ready for New York or Atlanta.
Yeah, and this is like a nice like landing spot for both of them because obviously no Embiid. It's like there's just not anybody on the other side that they're going to have to really like. That's gonna punish
try
them,
hard.
So it's like I think they're gonna be fine. Obviously, in the next round, Cat Mitchell Robinson, that's a very different proposition. So we will see. But yeah, it's just another one, just complete domination. These teams just look like on different levels. And poor Maxey. I mean, the guy plays his ass off and like he's trying. He's trying to lead. It's just they just don't have the horses to keep up with Boston.
Drummond and Cato are going to get a fight in this series. Drummond being a little whiny baby in this series, and
that is definitely going to happen. Kelly Oubre will get involved too, I'm sure.
Yeah, if Embiid does come back, it makes it a little more interesting.
It does.
I just don't think it goes that much further. I mean, maybe add a game to your predictions. That's our Sunday games. Every home team, except for the Detroit Pistons, won this weekend. We should just preface with that. Yep. The Detroit Pistons broke the streak. So then we go back to last night, how we end our Saturday night with Houston, LA. So we find out during New York, Atlanta, that Kevin Durant's not playing just due to knee soreness. And we're like, oh, great. So now it's actually going to be kind of a competitive game. It was kind of a competitive game. But then it reminded me of what we thought of Houston last year. Their offense just grinding to a halt. And they didn't even have Fred VanVleet or Jalen Green to save them at any moment. Not that Jalen Green saved them many games last year. Game 2 was good, but in last year's series against the Warriors. But they just have nothing on offense whenever KD and everyone else is out for this team. It's truthfully just kind of sad.
It is. It is. And the
And you
Lakers,
lost to a Lakers team without Luka and Reeves.
yeah, I'm like you look at this Lakers roster and it's like, look how limited this team is, and like
Mm-hmm.
they kind of control the game. Like it was like not even really that close.
Yeah.
That's just like that. That says so much about the Rockets, the roster construction, the coaching. They've hit a ceiling for sure. I mean, obviously, Katie would make a huge difference, but even like the Rockets fans in my life, they're sick of Katie. I mean, it's kind of like this is
really
like this didn't really work. The burner thing, like clearly, not even burner, whatever. It's like the group chat thing, like clearly had a bit of an impact on these younger guys, and it's just kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess of a team. It's just really oddly constructed once you see it out there. Amen Thompson for the brilliant flashes of defense he had. He had one block last night that was unbelievable, but recovery block. But he's got to fix the shooting. This is not like, I don't know. Like the people kind of think, oh, he's gonna be an All NBA player. I just don't. I don't see that until he at least gets some semblance of a shot. I just don't. I mean, teams just play way off him. It's and he gets a little bit ahead of steam. Or if his finishing was just like excellent, if he's like an excellent finisher on the rim, okay, fair enough. You can live with some of that stuff, like a Giannis, but he's not. He's not. He still misses too many. Transition the other way. It's that kind of Russell Westbrook thing, right? He goes flying to the rim, misses it, and now it's a 5-on-4 the other direction. So, I wasn't real enthused by his game. Reed obviously made some shots, but I mean, he's one of the only guys who can actually shoot like from beyond 10 feet on their team.
Yeah.
So it's just such an odd team. And the Lakers, I mean, Luke Kennard, what a game!
He was the high scorer of the game.
Yes, he was amazing. 5 for 5 from 3. I thought that was like a really cool Lakers win. Like for all the LeBron, whatever. Like I don't know, to still be doing this, it's just like in a playoff game, it's just nuts. It's nuts in year 23.
He had 10 assists at halftime, and then he's like, all right, I'll do the other thing. I'll do some scoring here in the second half.
Yeah.
Kennard,
whatever the game needs, I can do it. It's just incredible. They can do this in a playoff game.
Kennard was incredible, too. You said it last night. It was just sniping like a madman. Real quick, can we do an All-NBA Ben Simmons treatment team, considering you said Amen Thompson needs to figure a shot? I think both Thompson brothers and Ron Holland are on this team right now.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of two other wings / like guards that we feel like should be on this team.
I mean, the way some teams guard Steph Castle, I mean, he's a better shooter than those other players.
Right.
And a more willing shooter than those other players, but I mean, it's a little bit of a pick your poison, right? Because he's just the worst shooter of the starting lineup, so it's like that's part of it.
Right.
But it's I mean, teams play way off him, so it is a little bit unique in that sense. I mean, but we don't see the way Thompson. Some of it, it's like 15 feet of space, like it's like not even. They're not even like around. It's Ben Simmons-esque. It's Rondo-esque, right? Remember they used to do that to Rondo quite a bit.
You're telling me, but then Rondo started hitting threes in the bubble for the Lakers, and it was just all over. So,
helps him win a title.
It helped him hit a buzzer beater against the Celtics. You son of a bitch! In a regular season game, why do I still care about that? But you were right. You talked about just the lack of shooting. Like Jabari Smith has moments where you're like, oh, you can make jump shots tonight. Oh, you're hitting the side of the backboard. Yeah. It's so bad. How also listen. You can tell me the Rockets are limited with their guys. How is Josh Okogie still starting for you? That's just like, it still makes, I don't care how good at defense he is. That man, that's the other guy who gets Ben Simmons treatment. Like, he's also a willing shooter, but my God, I don't need to see him out.
Also, a lot of Jayshawn Tate last night. Like, I mean,
a lot of Jayshawn Tate in two ways, time and also just screen time. Did not need to see his face as much as I did, and he just wanted to. He's another guy who's going to get a rough it up with someone in the Lakers. Like that's a Jackson Hayes, Jayshawn Tate fight ready to happen mid series in there too.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the Lakers win Game 2 and then like they can hold off on Luka to like Game 5, the Lakers are going to win the series. Like if Luka comes back, like, that's crazy. Like that what a shame for the Rockets. Like if you're like that would be a like disastrous series loss if they lose this. I mean, if KD misses the entire series, that obviously mitigates a couple things, but still, I mean that was a terrible loss for them last night. We were talking about Ime and kind of one of my other group chats and these Rockets fans complaining about him, and I was saying, hey, look, on the other side, JJ is doing a legitimately good job. Like they're piecing together like some different lineups and different things, and he's always got like a creator on the floor. He's gotten some decent stuff out of Marcus Smart this year. Jackson Hayes has become a contributor. Like Like he's gotten good stuff from some of these role players, and strategically they're on point. Like they really play to the scouting report really well. I'm impressed with JJ for sure.
I mean, you're the coach here, so you tell me what math is. What is like the assist to shots made ratio that you're looking for?
I mean, personally,
Yeah.
I want that to be like super high. I don't want many unassisted buckets. Like I'm
And
looking for as many as possible.
that I bring that up just because the Lakers were 3/4 of their shots last
Yeah,
night were
I was gonna say
assisted.
80% would be like amazing. Like I would love that 80%.
Yeah, 70. It was just under 75% for them
Yeah,
last night, which is pretty incredible. So good for them to just. And when you talk about just like the creation that they can have out there, it's kind of crazy. So good for them. Great win. Let's go. Let's go to the other side of the country with New York playing Atlanta. It was fun for about 3/4.
yeah.
And
Another
then
one. They just kind of ground to a halt.
that, and also I continue to forget that the Knicks had the best fourth quarter just team in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Also, fast forwarding but rewinding for us, current day, the Magic and the Pistons are two of the top 5 clutchest teams in the NBA. Did you? I don't know if you were listening to the game whenever they were talking about
Not
it.
much. Now it was a lot. Yeah, it was on low. Yeah, audio.
They are the 2 of the 5. They have 2 of the best records in the NBA when it comes to clutch games this year.
So
And
Detroit, that doesn't surprise me, but for Orlando, it does.
yeah, I'm just remembering so early on in the year where they were just blowing games, and I
Yeah.
guess I clearly wasn't watching many late games of the Magic this back half of the year, but it just shocked me to hear that too. But they proved it today, and they proved it. I guess it was a blow against Charlotte, but like the game against Philly, it seemed close, and I don't know, it was just weird that they mentioned that. But the Knicks, it was a Jalen Brunson
Yeah, man.
show. McCollum said he was going to Broadway, and it was hilarious, kind of. And then Cat also kind of looked great in the second half. But what were your thoughts on Knicks Hawks?
Yeah, Brunson again. Just like we kind of like we've just kind of grown accustomed to it. Like, oh yeah, Brunson, great in the fourth quarters. He's I mean, he's like an all time like fourth quarter player. Like he's putting together like this is now 4 years of being this ridiculous fourth quarter killer. And they just kind of find a way. That's why I ultimately picked them to make the finals in my kind of big bracket predictor with some people the other day. They kind of just find they just find like a way to piece together these wins through just like sometimes it's a Josh Hart tip out that gets an extra 3. Sometimes it's a Cat block out of nowhere that you should never see coming, or he has a big dunk, or it's like they always have like 3-4 dudes on the floor that can really make a play. And then backed by that awesome home crowd. I mean, Atlanta kind of ran out of gas. Like I actually thought Atlanta had some really nice stretches in that game, but I actually they kind of ran out of gas down the stretch. And the Knicks, they're so used to playing in games like that. Like they don't really blow teams out that often. They don't really get blown out that often. They're kind of in games like that a lot. So they just have a lot of reps as kind of a fourth quarter team, and that showed last night.
No, everyone's most improved player pick just didn't look comfortable at all last night, and it's just because New York can throw so many good defensive wings at him the entire night, and even on the night in the times where we were trying to hunt Brunson stood tall. It was kind of crazy. It was very impressive to see how well he stood defensively. Brunson in the fourth quarters, I need to do the math tomorrow night when they play, but I feel like he has more points in the fourth quarter than he has in the first 3 quarters leading up to it. Like it's just he's like I'm preserving myself until the fourth quarter. And there are games when McBride had a few big shots yesterday, and it was kind of impressive. It was not kind of. It was very impressive how well he played. And then even I want to make sure I had this right. Yeah, Anunoby. It feels like he goes to the locker room at least once a playoff series, and yesterday it was his allotted once. I hope it never happened. I hope it doesn't happen again, just because he's just a fun guy to watch out there, awesome. And he's important for New York.
Yeah.
Him versus Jalen Johnson in this series is a fun matchup when Johnson's on offense and Anunoby's on defense. Like that's the one I'm looking for, because Johnson kind of won game 1 just in that matchup. New York, of course, won game 1 in the series, but I'm curious to see how those two continue to battle it out throughout this series as well.
Yeah. And I thought that was a great Jalen Johnson game. Kind of his first playoff game is like the main guy,
Correct.
not kind of, it is his first playoff game as the main guy. So,
Yeah.
I really was encouraged by that. And I think that's something to kind of take going forward. Um, yeah, need a better Naw game. The bigs probably could give you a little bit more. So it was just a little bit, like I said, they kind of ran out of gas. I think they'll tweak a few things. I assume they'll start throwing more traps at Brunson.
Mm.
But these Knicks guys, they make good decisions usually in these kind of short roll situations and 4-on-3 situations. So maybe they don't go to the trap that often. But this actually is this and the other 3-6 are my two favorite series. Like these are the ones I'm like looking forward to like watching more of. Outside of obviously my own team, but
Right.
yeah, I really like kind of like just the different matchups and the kind of the chess matches involved for these two series.
Well, I mean, we only saw Ricochet for 2 minutes, so I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I
yeah,
know, bad 2 minutes too.
yikes, yeah.
But I'm curious, is like, all right, are we going to get more of Kispert? Does that mean we're going to see Asa Newell like a little bit?
I would go Kispert.
I mean, just to get some shooting, but
Yeah,
also Newell is just a big body wing to have out there too, who can also kind of shoot. And then also adding to our Ben Simmons treatment team is Dyson Daniels.
yeah,
He
yeah.
another guy who just can't shoot, or is also willing to shoot whenever he's open for 15 feet. But he does so much else. He's a great defender. He rebounds well for them. So many like offensive rebounds corralled for them, and then also had 11 assists
Yeah, he's a good
yesterday.
passer. Yeah, yeah.
Great passer. God, if he could shoot, it would just be a little bit more. It would be just another piece for this Hawks team. Um, Man, you're right though. They ran out of gas because they were already playing 8 guys, and it's not. Correct me if I'm wrong. That felt very opposite of Quinn Snyder. Like Quinn Snyder, especially on those Jazz teams, he was like, "Hey, let's play wide to like 11, and then narrow it down as the series goes on." Well, a lot of teams do as well, but it just felt like Quinn Snyder, Budenholzer, even Doc to some extent too, just would like always start wide and kind of stay wide with like when it came to the rotation. So it felt like a change of pace for him.
Yeah, that was odd. And yeah, the 2 minutes from Ricochet, I actually feel bad. I'm like, this is really not gone well here. Second year, and it's like, I mean, you really shouldn't be in this game. Like, I mean, it was like 2 possessions in, and I was like, I don't. Why is he playing? Like, I actually don't really understand. Like, I guess they're just giving him like one shot, like literally one chance to play. And it's like that. Well,
Yeah.
we got our answer, and that's it. That's such a bummer that that's kind of where he's at in his career. But that's yeah. I guess Kispert would be the guy if you're gonna kind of add somebody to the rotation. That'd be kind of my guy to see. But we'll see. I'm very excited for that series. That may be one where like the home team kind of wins the first 5, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
For Game 6, but yeah, I thought large stretches of that game were really enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okongwu also, you brought up Jalen Johnson being the first time being the guy. Okongwu first playoff game actually like being a stretch big. I feel like there's some of those games where like stretch bigs, like they hit the playoffs and they no longer are a stretch. They just
Yeah.
stop shooting from outside. Okongwu was like, nah, I got this. And he did
Yeah.
pretty well as well. So I was impressed by that. Who should you, how long do you have that series going? Did you say you had that one going 6?
Knicks in 6, yeah.
Okay. But let's go to the other 3-6 matchup. Back out to Denver. In what looked like Minnesota, I mean, Minnesota looked phenomenal in that first half. Like it was great basketball from them. And then the third quarter happened. And we all remembered why we love this Nuggets team to be a contender. And
Yep.
you watch this game, Adam, and it's like, how can you, in a what's considered a bad Murray, it is an efficient night, he still throws up 30, and it's still a Jokic just 20. It's his easy 25 double. Triple double. They just look so deep on the wings, and yet I still don't know if I can trust Valanciunas as a backup big.
Yeah, when Peyton Watson still didn't play.
Right.
That was a big key that we talked about, in the little kind of preview is like, okay, if we get McDaniels but not Watson, that's a huge advantage for Minnesota, which is what we got. And then it was like, oh, if we
First
get
half,
Watson but not McDaniels, well, that's a huge advantage Denver. Or if neither one of them plays, that's probably an advantage for Denver as well. Watson did not play, and they still obviously took this game 1. And McDaniels actually looked pretty good for stretches. So I Denver, man, I think they look ominous when they're really rolling offensively. there is just not a whole lot you can do. And yeah, in Minnesota, it's a super talented team. It's like this is not like a usual 6 seed team. Like this is a team that like in any other era, or if they just kind of had their crap together for most of the season, this would be a higher seeded team. But I don't know, man. I don't know how they can slow Denver down when Denver like is really shooting well and Cam Johnson's giving them something, and they're getting good play off the bench. I just there's not a lot you can do with their offense.
I think the thing that was encouraging for me, if I'm a Timberwolves fan, or if I'm just thinking and you have picked the Timberwolves in some sort of way, I think the thing that's encouraging to me is the fact that in a game that you had such great, you can look to that first half. That's basically what I was going to say. Just look at that first half. How can we duplicate that to the second half? We've talked about it, the Timberwolves a bunch so much this, just like not having the ability to play 4 full good quarters. We talked about it with Carlson even too. McDaniel's not making a 3, not great. But the fact that you didn't have McDaniel's, Randall, Reed made 1, and Ant went 2 of 9 from 3.
Yeah.
Just brutal. My favorite player for the Timberwolves, honestly, that first game was Io. Io looked great and like ready for the moment. And I don't think he's been in a playoff game ever.
No, I don't think so. No.
I was going to say maybe that one
his
year.
Rookie year. I think his rookie year.
Yeah.
He might have, yeah.
Against the Bucks.
Yeah.
When it was DeRozan and Levine still. But is Conley worth playing his 11 minutes? That's the other thing too. Like I'm just looking at this box score, and I'm like, okay, the 5 minutes from Bone Highland, 11 minutes from Conley. Where can we consolidate these minutes? Because we talked about the depth of Denver this year, and you're right. When Peyton Watson comes back, man, that's a great thing for them to be adding. But for Minnesota, I worry about the depth just a little bit too here because no Clark, no Shannon in this game, and those are like 2 other wings that you can play. I just am curious where they're going to go here, what adjustments they can even make to combat what Denver's got going.
I mean, personnel-wise, there's not a ton. I mean, maybe it's Terrence Shannon. Maybe give him a stretch, see what he can do. Personnel-wise, I mean, these guys, like most of them, just need to shoot better. I actually thought we got a really good Rudy Gobert game.
We did.
I thought he looked like really
phenomenal defensively.
Yeah, I thought he was like really, really spry. Like he just looked like really up for it. Like I thought it was just like a really solid kind of all-around game from him. Randall again, kind of getting in those little kind of, these like physical battles, stuff like that. These kind of like macho, like just play. Like he's so much better when he just is running and playing and just kind of there's kind of a playing with like a free mind. I thought he was like very much in his own head last night. Ant's got to shoot better. I mean, like bottom line, like you're not going to win a ton of games against a team as good as Denver if Ant shoots that poorly, and the rest of the guys don't bring it from 3 either. So I mean, yeah, it's just like as you kind of scroll through the box score, I'm like, there's not a ton of other options for Minnesota. Their main guys just need to play better, and they will. This is gonna be a long series. These are 2 really good teams that play each other well. They know each other well, right? Obviously, there's 3rd meeting in the last 4 seasons. So another one. I like again. This is the 3-6 matchup in the West. I am most excited to kind of watch these games as a neutral.
Braun and DiVincenzo is my fight battle in this series. Braun was pointing his 2 threes he made. He pointed to the Minnesota bench after each one of them.
They used to like be really tight on that, like when guys would do that. And they've started to let that go, but it's going to lead to like something. In these playoffs for sure,
100%. First game of the weekend though, we go to Cleveland. I don't need to spend that much time on this one because the 13-point win does not really describe how this game felt. Toronto had a much better fourth quarter, a 37-point fourth quarter. But
window dressing is all that was.
Yeah, I know. It was a very impressive, like Donovan Mitchell saying, "Hey, I'm still here," and it was a reminder to like because there was reports that came out like that Friday of the Friday playing games, like if Cleveland doesn't make it out of the second round, that they might be trading Donovan Mitchell if he doesn't sign an extension. I'm like, so many ifs in this sentence. But it was like Donovan Mitchell's like, okay, if you want to trade me, here's my worth. Like I'm throwing up 32 in a game, and like he's one of the best like points per game scorers in playoff history. I think he's like 28 a game, which is so crazy.
No, he brings it. Mitchell, again, we've talked about this before. like absolutely underrated start to a career. Like he's like on
Yeah.
a path to be like an all-time great guard, and like it's just like it barely ever gets talked about because he's played in Utah and Cleveland for the most part, and he hasn't made a deep playoff run. I kind of believe that this may be the one, but yeah, this is like a massive mismatch in terms of just like talent. Just like there's a level that Cleveland can get to that Toronto just can't even approach.
Yeah, I think Toronto's consistency helps them. I think, let me try to find a way to put this here. The depth of which the fact that Cleveland can play so many, like, they could be this good. They could also be this bad on a bad night with the James Harden game.
Sure.
For Toronto, it's like, hey, we can be this good and this bad.
Yeah.
Cleveland's like, hey, we're just like surrounding you and like you were this bread on the sandwich, whatever happens here. So
on a night when Cleveland really has it, Toronto just can't get there. They just can't get there. They just don't have enough
correct
to get to that level.
When Cleveland doesn't have it, though, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see. Okay. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about was just from this game was Mobley and Allen. You talked about Gobert looking spry. Mobley and Allen have never looked this spry together in any playoff game I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Like their athleticism. I've never seen Jarrett Allen drive to the rim twice in a game and dunk a ball from like the free throw line extended. It was crazy. They were so like mentally focused on like, we're gonna go not only win this game. It just felt like they were creating a statement just within this game one, like, hey, this isn't going to be easy for anyone. So,
those are the two guys who I think a lot of the blame has fallen on, and probably rightfully so. And some of these playoff failures the last few years, it's like those two just have not played up to their capability, or the level that they played at in the regular season. They didn't play that well in those playoff runs. So I think that's a good statement for them to be like, okay, this year is going to be different. Like we are actually going to play to our level. Harden helps out with Jarrett Allen a lot. So I think that makes a big difference. So I Cleveland is super talented. I think if they can kind of make these pieces fit, I can absolutely see them making a run.
Curious about their size depth though. That's the only thing I worry about, because we saw Max Strus just also a flamethrower.
Seriously, he a couple words like I feel like it barely touched his hand. It was just like in his hand, out, and like
no, it wasn't just that. It was Heat Max Strus, where he was like, "Oh, you're in, like your hand is touching my hip as I'm still rising." Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When he's that locked in, fuck, it's so tough. Like, I love that. I understand the Dean Wade like minutes apparently are great, plus minus whatever. You gotta have Max Strus out there for a game when he's like that in games, and that's what they did. They adjusted and went to him. Okay, so we didn't really get the chance to talk about the 1-8, 2-7 matchups like pre like the series starting. And I kind of wanted to dive into that real quickly, just like to get your predictions from those four series, especially after we see game one. So you said, let's start with Orlando, Detroit though, because you said you think that goes 6 or 7?
Yeah, I had Detroit in 6.
Okay, I think Detroit in 6 is a great pick, and I'll go with you, especially. I think they can right the ship here. I just think that game one was just like, I totally felt the steal. I think game one goes to, game one of course went to Orlando. I think game 3 also goes to Orlando. Just the first games in the different arenas.
Detroit after that.
Yeah, and then I have Boston in 5.
I have Boston in 5 as well.
Okay, OKC in 4.
I had a sweep. Yep.
And then San Antonio in 5.
Yep. Same.
Great. Lovely. We are just, I felt like every series we were about damn in lockstep.
I do think a couple of the Spurs Blazers game might be close, but I also think they might win one by like 40. So I think that it's going to be, there's going to be, like the Blazers win will be a close game. I could see like maybe game 4 is tight 2 or something like that, but I think one of these games the Spurs are going to win by like 40.
I think game 5, whenever they win it.
They just
game 5 when they clinch it. Game 2 will be a close one, I feel. I can feel that. I feel Thiago's like, man, they're showing my former teammates up there. I gotta stand up. I gotta.
He got a nice ovation when they announced him today. It was cool. Yeah,
good.
And be a champ, Thiago Splitter.
I love Thiago. He was my 2K center. Like he was the guy. It makes no sense. He was a 78 overall center on 2K.
He's just solid at everything. Like he just is a good
I
defensive
just knew
player.
how to move with
Rebounder.
him.
Yeah.
Just knew
Yeah.
how to move with him on 2K. Anything else from this weekend before we sign off here?
No, a lot of basketball for me. I will rest well tonight.
You and me both. I have two free days before I start the new job too.
There you
So
go.
I am a happy man.
Good time to have that. Good time to have that.
Oh, it's perfect timing. Oh, it was perfect timing. Thanks everyone for listening. We have so much more basketball to go, and it's crazy. Tomorrow, what we have or I guess today, we have Cavs. We have both Eastern Conference. So we have Cavs, Raptors, Knicks, Hawks, and then we have the nightcap is the Timberwolves Nuggets tonight. So
Yeah.
I might be going to watch it with my Nuggets fan Aaron Carter,
Oh, there you go.
or he's coming over Tuesday to watch the Celtics Sixers game. One of the two. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a great rest of your week. Go Celtics. Go Spurs. And you know what? Go Orlando Magic. You're the one road team who won this weekend.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. So thank you for doing that. Have a good one, y'all.